while I'm sitting here having some lunch, I'm just looking at my car over there thinking, yep, I should have sold that last year. But like every car guy out there, I found excuse after excuse of why I shouldn't sell it. So it was ready for sale in November, and I thought I was gonna make a really tidy profit. But I had a track day in December, and I thought, well, my R56 just isn't gonna be ready. So I decided to take that one. And I'm glad I did. And then it was December. Well, of course, no one's buying cars in December.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
So I thought, well, I'll hang on to it for a little bit longer. And here we are. But since then, it looks like the price on these Minis has changed. Well, I see a lot of really cheap ones coming up for sale at a lot less than I thought I'd be selling mine for. But they do sell instantly. So are people just selling them really cheap to get rid of them, and there's still a strong market for good, well-maintained Minis? Or have I missed the boat? Now, looking at this car, it is quite modified. And when I bought it, I was quite excited about that. But it means it's kind of personalized to the previous owner. So as we have a look down here, the little Mini is tucked away down here. And on the face of it, it looks really good. It's a 2006 in Astro Black, which I think is one of the best colors. But it was quite modified when I got it. Well, cosmetically anyway. We can see down here that we've got a TRC front splitter. Now, I kind of like it, but it does scream that this car might have been ragged a bit. Probably not what a prospective buyer wants to see. And again, it's personal choice. Some people like splitters, others don't. Then we've got these LED front lights, which I don't mind. And they're not cheap, but again, it might be something that puts people off because it's kind of personal taste. And that's the point in these little Minis, is they're a good way to express yourself. You can get so many different modifications for these, but when it comes to sell it, it might not be the best thing for you. So we might have to take those off. Looking down here, we've got my wheels off my R56. So they're coming back off and we'll put the standard ones on. We've got the aero side skirts, which I really like. I think they do finish off the side of the car nicely. And then coming around the back end of the car, we've got these LED rear lights. We've got a stainless steel exhaust and of course, a Barn Club car sticker. Now I think for me, these LED rear lights need to go because they are really Marmite. You either love them or you hate them. I hated them when I got this car, but I've got to say, it's kind of grown on me since I've had it. Then we've got the stainless exhaust, which again, well, that's going nowhere. And of course, since we last saw this car, we've taken the bonnet off of our donor car because again, I think the car just had too much black. So the red mirror caps that used to be on it kind of broke it up, but I didn't think it did enough and I really didn't like them. So we put the bonnet off of our donor convertible with these silver stripes on it. And I think it looks so much better, especially once we put some silver wheels on it. Inside the car, again, it's got a full black leather interior. It's got the 3-spoke steering wheel because it's got the chili pack. But it's got these Killall chrome stick-on plastic carbon-like things, which again, I don't mind, but this is broken and damaged. And if you look here, it's got glue and stuff all seeping out the sides. So I don't know if I can keep that. Maybe I'm gonna have to get a new airbag, but on the face of it, I think this steering wheel, I mean, this airbag in particular brings down this whole interior. Inside, we've got climate control, we've got a DAB stereo, we've got a wind booster, which again, I'm on the fence about whether or not I should leave it. We've also got an ultra gauge, which has got a load of lines missing from the screen. So again, when I'm trying to sell this for really good money, I think that's going to detract from it. Also, inside the car, we've got things like these have been painted matte black, and again, it's all scratched and coming off. We've got the black rings around the vents, which I don't mind that, but we haven't got them on the clocks here. So I think probably best off changing these back for some standard ones. Then under the bonnet, we've got this Ram Air induction kit, which is great, but again, it makes the car look pretty modified because it just takes up so much space in the engine bay and it's super noticeable. We've then got this strut brace as well, along with these R52, so the convertible front strut bars. And then down here, we've got the 15% reduced pulley, which we put on in the last video. So on the whole, it's got a nice mix of mods and it's got some random green HT leads. So looking at it, some of these things can stay and some of them can go. So I think we need to get this car back to the barn and decide exactly what mods are staying, what mods are going, and how we can achieve the best possible price for this car. As I'm driving down these country roads on my way home, again, just the smile this car puts on my face, because not only has this got the supercharged 1.6 litre engine, we fitted that 15% reduced pulley, but also this has got the factory limited slip differential in the gearbox. So it makes these country roads so much fun. And of course, you're not actually going that fast. And I think that's the charm of these little minis, is that they're not fast, they're nippy, and they feel like you're going so much faster than you are. You've got the whine of the supercharger, the burble from the exhaust, and of course you're quite low down, and it's got a really short wheelbase. You feel like you're over the front wheels, and all of that adds up to this amazing driving experience, when actually we're on this little country road doing 40 miles an hour.
Sometime later.
It's Monday the 30th and this car is going in for its MOT. I haven't really done much since getting back from Caffeine and Machine the other day. I mean, I've topped up the washer fluid and I've checked all the light bulbs, but other than that, I think we're in really good shape with this car. So I'm on my way now to the MOT station. I've not used this one before, but they're local and they had availability. So in the interest of getting this car up for sale pretty quickly, I've just booked it in. So guys, we're almost there. Wish me luck. Well, it's out of my hands now. Let's hope the hard work pays off. Fingers crossed. Back up the barn and the results are in. So how did our Mini get on? Well, I'm happy to report that we passed. Yep, we got an absolute clean bill of health on this MOT. I honestly don't think I've seen an MOT certificate in the longest times with no advisors on it, which, so that is amazing. So yeah, mechanically, this car is all up together. It just means we've got some of the cosmetics to deal with. As I said earlier, this car is quite modified and you kind of either love it or you hate it. So I think we just don't want to split the audience that could be looking to buy an Astro Black 06 plate Mini Cooper S. So we're going to take a lot of this stuff off. Now, bearing in mind, we fitted the 15% reduced pulley when we serviced the supercharger. So that's going to stay. But you don't really need a whole bunch of supporting mods to enjoy that pulley. So it means that we're going to get a bunch of this stuff out of the engine, get it looking more stock. So we're going to remove this strut brace. Again, that was £185 worth. We're also going to remove the Ram Air induction kit. So we're going to put the standard airbox back on to make that look a bit more standard. We're also going to change these green leads out. I don't know if they're rated or they're just green. So we're going to put some standard leads on there. So yeah, it seems weird taking mods off a car to sell it, but I guess it's one of those. There is a specific audience out there for this car in its current state, in its, you know, the way it's put together. But this might not be to everyone. So to get the broadest appeal that I can and to give myself a chance to get the best possible price for this car, I think we're going to take these mods off, get it looking a bit more stock, and then hopefully we'll find ourselves a buyer. With the airbox out, we can see that the ECU is actually bolted into this new metal frame. So it's quite a engineered piece of kit. I can see why these are like £200 new, but it means that we've had to disconnect the battery, unplug the ECU, and then we just take these 4 screws out, and then we should have the ECU out, and we can then pop a fresh OE airbox back in the car and get this put back together. Right, with the airbox removed, you can see down here that we've got the gear linkage. So I'm going to give that a squirt with some silicone spray, and then we're going to get in the car and we're going to work the gear linkage backwards and forwards. We're going to go through the gears a whole bunch of times, and we're going to do that for probably 5 minutes. Some more spray, work it in, some more spray. I don't need to do it, but it's just a good bit of preventative maintenance for the next owner to make sure that this gearbox feels silky smooth And whoever ends up with this car afterwards is really happy with the way it drives. With the induction kit off, you might be thinking, Tim, what are you going to put back on? Well, the good news, in my ever-growing mountain of spares, I've got a replacement factory airbox, and on the side there is a sticker that says stop, do not discard, K&N. So this box inside should have a performance air filter, which will complement the reduced pulley nicely. As I said, you don't need any supporting mods for a 15% pulley, but you want to help it breathe a little bit easier. So a replacement filter, a performance air filter, should be just the ticket. But as I pop the box open, we have a look in here. This is not a performance air filter. So it means I'm going to have to get one of those ordered. Now you might think, Tim, the induction kit's probably worth £90. Well, if you've got to buy new performance air filters, what's the point? Well, it turns out online I can get an ITG performance air filter for around £35 to £40. Even if I sold that for £90, I'd still be making a £50 profit. And when I come to sell this car, I might need every little bit of profit I can get. I've ordered that new ITG filter for £36. It'll be here Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday. It's a long Easter weekend at the moment, so what that does mean is we can peel off this K&N sticker, because clearly that was a lie. Or the last person to work on the car this airbox came off didn't know how to read. Either way, it has not got a K&N filter fitted, so we don't need the sticker. For now, I'm going to put the standard air filter back in just so the car's got a filter, but we're going to get that changed over before this goes up for sale. It's only a couple of bolts to swap this over when the new one arrives, so it makes sense to put it back together so at least the car's mobile. I can always take it for a wash, and then when the new one arrives, a couple of minutes, we've got it fitted. It's on, it's tight, so that should be good. And I didn't want to put the factory sort of inlet pipe on because they split. So even though I want to put this car kind of back to standard, I think that's a nice upgrade that actually gives the new owner one less thing to worry about. With all that on, it's time to put the ECU back on. These just push into place and then slide the locking tabs over. We need to put the ECU cover back on. And there we go, one factory airbox installed. Now with the ECU reconnected, we can reattach the battery. This should fire up. Fingers crossed. Absolutely perfect. And it still sounds really good. This next demodification is the one that makes the biggest impact. And to be honest, it makes me a little sad to do it, but it all makes sense and you'll see why. It's time to swap the wheels back to standard. So we need to jack the car up and we need to remove these Team Dynamics multi-spokes. And we're going back to the original bullets that this car came on. We've got some fresh Amazon center caps for about £8. But there we go, what do you think? I was never a fan of dark wheels on a dark car until this Mini. I don't know what it is about these Team Dynamics wheels. They just look so right on a black Mini. So that's that's how it looks. And it might be because I'm just thinking back to when I took this to Donington and it looked so good. But now with the original factory bullets back on, what do you think? I mean, I'm selling the car, so what I think doesn't matter. And I definitely want to keep these wheels because these are off my R56 that I was getting ready to go on a track day with, and the car just wasn't ready. So I put these wheels onto this car and off we went. But now it means we've got to swap these over so that we can get this car sold. That's right, this video is about a man in a barn with a Mini putting it back to standard to get it sold for the best price possible. Does that make sense? Well, we're going to find out. So if that's the type of videos you like watching, let me know down in the comments. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, because in this video we're going to get this car up for sale, and the next time we see this Mini, well, it will be gone and you'll see exactly what I've had to do once I've put this up for sale to get this car sold. Have I had to make more changes to the car? Will I just have had to lower the price? I've got a price in mind that I'm not going below, so Obviously, I'm not going to let you know that, because if you did want to buy a Mini and you came to me and said, Tim, I know what your bottom price is, that's not going to end well for me, is it? So guys, anyway, let's get on to sorting this Mini out. Right, with everything done under the bonnet, it's now time to move on to some of the cosmetics. We've got to sort out those rear lights, we've got to sort out the fog lights, and we've also got to do some work to the inside of the car to tidy it up a little bit. And I'll show you what I mean. As we come round to the inside of the car, we can see that it needs some love. Now, we saw earlier that it's got these painted black speaker grills and all the paint's flaking off, so we're going to need to replace those. We've got this ultra gauge here, which you'd think would be good. My concerns with having an ultra gauge fitted are it's not standard. It kind of looks stuck to the dash, because it is, but also people might look at it and think, has this car been ragged pretty hard? But also you can see here that it's got some lines missing from the display. So with the potential negatives that it gives me, and the fact that the display itself is faulty, it makes no sense in trying to sell a car with a faulty ultra gauge. So I may as well just pull it out and pretend it was never here. We've got these LED rear lights on the back of the car. As I said before, when I first got the car, I absolutely hated them, but they've actually kind of really grown on me. So I just can't have that risk. If I've got a potential buyer looking to buy an Astro Black Mini, then they might look at these lights and go, oh, do you know what, I really like the car, but those lights aren't for me. So I'm going to move on and find another one. Whereas if I take these lights off, I can sell them separately, maybe get £100 for them, put some standard lights in, and then it's not going to offend anyone, is it? We've got a completely stock back end to this car that hopefully is going to be exactly what a prospective buyer is looking for.
Now these are really easy to change. There's just one bolt that holds each light in. There's some clips on the sides with a little wiggle. These will pop out nice and easy. Now when we look down in this gap here, this is where they start to rust on the rear lights. So I've put some rust treatment on it to really help keep this car good for as long as possible. We need to leave that on there for 24 hours. So let's move to inside the car. And first of all, we're going to take this airbag off, because yeah, this carbon effect trim that's all broken and the glue's all horrible just won't do. It really does drag the interior of the car down. So we're going to pop the airbag out with these clips either side, and then we just undo the airbag and we're good to go. Obviously it's worth remembering you need to disconnect the battery before you do this. But anyway, with the standard trims back on the steering wheel and the carbon bits gone, I think it looks so much cleaner. We just need to put the airbag back on, clip it into place, and that's it. I think that makes such a difference to the car overall. What do you think? I think that looks so much fresher and cleaner. I mean, what a difference. But we've got to replace the other trims that have been sprayed matte black. So we're going to take this ring around the speedo, as well as we're also going to do the trims around the air vents as well. And again, with all the trims matching, I think it looks so much better. I mean, yeah, do you know what? I really like this.
I think the interior is looking pretty tidy right now, but there's still some bits to do. With a replacement airbag and some new trims on the steering wheel, I've got to say, that looks so much better. So these just pop off. There we go. So you can see they're just clipped on.
Making this the quickest job to do on this car, but what a difference.
Last thing to do is change the gear, that's not a gear knob, change the handbrake cover, and this gear knob surround here for the Gator is all, again, it's been spray painted matte black and it's a bit worn and it looks a bit nasty. So we're gonna have to take the gear knob off, that will pop off, we've got a cable tie under there, and then this, again, we'll get this out and hopefully this should come off with, yeah, I mean that just slides off, so we'll just unclip that from here and then that'll come out.
And then we can just slide the original one back into place. And that's kind of it. Nice and simple, back to standard, exactly how it was intended. Then we're going to pop the gear knob off with one quick yank.
Under here we've got cable tie to cut off. Now the problem with all these Minis is these gear knobs are worn out. I mean, this is from 2006, that's 20 years ago. So for £18, I don't even think it was that much. We got this one with some nice fake leather, chrome ring on the top, 6-speed, off of eBay. Like I say, it's like 16, 17 pounds. It was not a lot of money, but I think when you come to sit in this car and you put your hand on that gear knob for the first time, and you're either feeling old, flappy, crusty, ripped leather, or a nice, shiny, fresh new knob. I mean, which would you want to put your hands on? So let's have a look at the car and see what a difference all that work has made. Starting with the front end, we can see that we've got these factory side lights and indicators back in instead of the LED ones. Again, I kind of like the LED ones by the end of it, but when I first got the car, I just wasn't a fan. So having changed those, again, I think it just makes the car from the front end just look how it should. Walking around the car to the side of it, again, we've got the standard bullet wheels back on. We've got the aero skirts. And coming around the back, we've changed the rear lights for these factory rear lights. Again, they're in really good condition. They're super bright. And again, what a difference we've made from back here. And looking inside, we've gone back to standard with these silver rings around the vents and the speedo in the center. We've also replaced the airbag and the trims on the steering wheel, along with the handbrake cover as well. So that's all looking how it would have done coming from the factory. So again, there's no reason for someone to object that they're not a fan of the matte black things. And speaking of matte black things, obviously we've changed the covers for the door pulls and the speakers. And again, I think it fits in and looks so much nicer. And to complement that, we fitted a fresh gear knob that isn't all ripped and torn. And with that all looking fresh inside. And how much do we put it up for? What is this Mini worth? Because there have been some crazy cheap ones on Facebook Marketplace lately that have been up for sale for about £1,500. But the good news is they sell instantly. So clearly there is a market for these things and people are snapping cheap ones up really quickly. But on the other hand, you've got people like the Mini Sanctuary who are taking really good examples like this one here, putting a little bit of love and care into it and putting them up for sale for top money. Now, obviously I'm not a Mini specialist, but I certainly don't think this is a bottom of the barrel £1,500 Facebook Marketplace car. But no, I think this is worth closer to the £3,000 mark than the £1,500 mark. So I think we're going to put this up for sale for £2,850. So why don't I put this car up for £4,000, £3,900 and take a chance? Well, because this car isn't perfect. It's great, but there are a few small blemishes, which I think if I wanted to charge that absolute top money, I think I'd have to tackle. And I don't think that it's worth me doing it, because after I've spent that time and money on fixing those little niggles, it's probably not worth any more. And they are some real small little things, which again, I just don't think I need to do. So if we take a look behind me here, the rear headlining, it hasn't fallen down, but it's a little bit saggy in a few places. Now, if I wanted to do that, that would be £250 for a replacement headliner. Or I'd find someone to retrim it and they'll probably charge me a little bit less. But still, it means a good afternoon stripping the headliner out, taking all the bits and pieces off, and then obviously putting the new one back in. So it's half a day, £250. And is it going to make a massive difference? And we've also got some little bits of paintwork that could be touched up if you're really that fussy. On the rear bumper, there's a little bit of damage that was on there when I bought the car. So ideally, you'd either want to get that repainted, which probably would cost about £250, or you could just buy a replacement Astro Black rear bumper as and when one comes up for sale on Facebook. So again, it's a 20-year-old car. It's going to have some marks. And then, of course, we've got the alloy wheels. The previous owner on this car clearly enjoyed the curbs a little bit too much. So again, you could get these wheels refurbed if you really wanted this thing to be pristine. But otherwise, I think this car's in really good shape. And mechanically, this thing is great. So what happens if I don't get any interest at the asking price? Well, I've got a couple of options. One, I could possibly drop the price. Now, I believe in this car. I think it's a really great car, and I just don't think I should drop the price too much on this. So I've got a figure in mind, and I'm not going to go below it. If I did need to go below that, well, what do? Do I take out the leather interior and put in a half leather from my other Mini, and then maybe drop the price a little bit more? Do I take the aero skirts off? Because again, they're worth 150, 200 pounds all day long. So again, I could take more value out of the car, but I'm at the point I really don't want to. I've got the parts that I've taken off it that I'm going to sell, all those modifications, and there's some money to be had back there. And then obviously I could go a little bit further, but I really don't want to, because I think as this car is today, it's amazing. This car is an amazing driver's car. And every time I take it out on these little twisty country roads, it puts a massive smile on my face. And if it doesn't sell, well, do you know what? It's one of those. I'd quite happily hang on to this car for a little bit longer. Prices on these, I think they're going up, because these are great driver's cars. They've got that supercharged noise to them. They're so much fun, and they're really easy to live with as a second small little car. So yeah, do you know what? If I have to hang on to this for a while and I just get to use it at the weekend when the sun's shining and I can take it out on the twisty roads, well, that's not the end of the world. But I really do need to get this sold. That's the whole point in this exercise. If I sell this for £3,000, I've more than made back the money I lost on that BMW right at the start of this. So again, it's one of those. I sell this. What next? What car can I get for around £2,000 to £3,000 and then spend a little bit of money on to really add some value and sell that for a profit? Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think. How much do you think I'll get for this Mini? And also, what should I get next? When I sell this Mini, I'll let you know exactly what I got for it and what's next. And if you want to see where this all started and how bad that BMW was, take a look at this video here.